On a night when the rain falls softly or a deep fog blankets the path where not even moonlight can reach. Have you ever stopped in your tracks at the faint sound of a baby crying from somewhere in the darkness? If the source of that voice were a woman standing alone in the shadows, holding a blood-stained garment and pleading for your help, what would you do? She might not be just a lost mother, but a yokai known as Ubume, a spirit who left this world with a powerful lingering attachment. Tonight, let us take the time to unravel the story of this sorrowful yokai and the deep psychological distress she represents, which still resonates with many of us today. The existence of the Ubume has been recorded since ancient times in various regions of Japan, and even in Chinese folklore. Her form is sometimes described as a beautiful woman, and at other times as a terrifying bird of prey. Most famously, she appears as a woman wearing a robe, stained red from the waist down, cradling a small child. In the past, the act of giving birth was an event that truly risked one's life. Behind the miracle of bringing a new soul into the world, many women lost their lives before they could fulfill their journey. It is said that the intense attachment of these women, their longing to hold and raise their children, took shape as the Yokai Ubume. Here, I would like to ask you a question. Have you ever experienced a deep regret over not being able to protect someone precious, or an attachment that you simply could not let go of? If that feeling were strong enough to surpass your own life, what form would your soul take? The story of the Ubume is not just a tale of the past. It may be a reflection of the deep-seated love and shadows that reside in any human heart. Among the legends of the Ubume, the story of the stone baby has terrified people for generations. While walking a lonely road at night, a woman suddenly appears and begs you to hold her child for just a moment. Sensing her distress and wanting to help, you take the infant into your arms and the woman vanishes. However, as time passes, the baby becomes unbelievably heavy. What felt as light as a feather at first begins to sink into your arms, eventually becoming as heavy as a massive boulder. You might find yourself forced to your knees, desperately praying or chanting for the sun to rise. When the morning light finally breaks and you look down at your arms, you find not a child, but a cold stone or a pile of withered leaves. What does this description of a baby growing heavier signify? Many believe it represents the invisible weight of responsibility that a mother carries, the pressure of guarding a life, and the guilt of being unable to fulfill that duty. These women may have simply wanted someone to share that overwhelming emotion, or perhaps they wanted to etch the proof that their child truly existed into the arms of another. If we look at historical records like the Wakan Sansai Zue, an encyclopedia from the Edo period, the Ubume is also depicted as a frightening bird that steals children. Flying over the roofs of houses at night, she is said to leave drops of her poisonous blood on laundry left outside. Any child who wore those clothes would fall ill or be snatched away by the Ubume. Why would she target the children of others? It may be that the void left by losing her own child transformed into a distorted sense of envy, or a loneliness that could not bear to see the happiness of others. This mirrors the silent isolation some parents feel today when they struggle with child rearing, while seeing only the happy faces of other families. Have you ever felt crushed by the pressure to be a perfect parent? There is a theory that the Ubume is actually a personification of the unstable mental state, known as postnatal distress or depression, the feeling of not being able to love one's child, the lack of confidence in raising them, or the urge to simply disappear. Those silent cries of the heart may have reached the ears of people in the past, as the fluttering wings of a mysterious bird in the night. Furthermore, the fact that the Ubume is often depicted in blood-stained clothing is deeply connected to the social background of the time. In the past, the blood associated with childbirth was often treated as something to be feared or avoided due to cultural taboos. It was even believed that a woman who departed this world while still carrying a child would be unable to find peace. To save their souls, families would perform rituals, such as placing a doll in the casket to help them let go of their attachments. The terrifying appearance of the Ubume was a symbol of the irrational prejudice and fear that women of that era were forced to endure. Now let me ask you another question. If a sorrowful Ubume appeared before you, how would you respond? Would you flee in terror, or would you wish to lighten the burden she carries, even if only a little? In the stories of the Ubume, there are also tales of mysterious salvation. There is a story of a man who was asked to hold a baby and endured its growing weight until dawn. For his bravery and compassion, he was granted incredible physical strength. This suggests that those who overcome the grueling trials of parenting and responsibility through the support of others and their own mental fortitude can grow significantly as human beings. The message hidden behind this ghost story might be one of hope that suffering and pressure can be transformed into true strength once they are transcended. However, the Ubume of the modern era still hides among us in different forms. For instance, the voices on social media or internet forums crying out about the hardships and regrets of parenting. Those voices are the modern equivalent of the Ubume's wings. Mothers who are isolated, facing their children in closed rooms and blaming themselves. The weight in their hearts grows heavier every moment, much like the stone baby in the legend. If that weight becomes too much to bear, their hearts too might fly away to somewhere far, far away. The legend of the Ubume confronts us with the preciousness of life and, at the same time, the social indifference toward the sorrow that falls through the cracks of that process. By creating the concept of a yokai, people of the past gave form to unexplainable tragedies and the shadows of the mind attempting to face them. The rituals to comfort the Ubume were not only for the departed, but were also a form of community care to soothe the anxieties of living mothers. As we reach the heart of the story, the true wish of the Ubume becomes clear. In some regions, it was tradition to build small shrines, where the Ubume was said to appear, offering warm milk or sweets. What they wanted was likely not to take a life, but simply to be recognized as a mother and to have their struggles acknowledged. To take off the blood-stained robes and sleep peacefully as a woman. That may be the only salvation the Ubume has sought for hundreds of years. What did you feel as you listened to this story of the Ubume? It is more than just a scary tale. It is filled with heartbreakingly human emotions. Yokai are mirrors of ourselves. The attachments and anxieties held by the Ubume exist, in some form within our own hearts today. If we can listen to their cries not as paranormal phenomena, but as the voices of neighbors seeking help, the darkness of the night path might be touched by a gentle light. If you see a parent nearby who looks exhausted, as if they are carrying a heavy stone alone, please remember this story. The shadow of the Ubume might be drawing near to them. What can dispel that shadow is not an exorcism, but your simple words of support or a helping hand. The sound of the Ubume's wings may still be echoing in the sky somewhere tonight. It is a warning and at the same time a prayer for help. As long as we do not forget the spirit of sharing and listening, this sorrowful yokai will one day surely become a gentle bird and fly away into the distant sky. I hope this story has helped you deepen your understanding of the spiritual depth of Japanese yokai and the circumstances women faced in the past. The Ubume is not a relic of the past. She is a story of love and suffering that seeks to be born in someone's heart even at this very moment. If you have any local legends about the Ubume, mysterious stories of spirits of motherhood, or your own experiences, please share them in the comments. Your words might be a small light that saves someone shivering in loneliness right now. On this channel, we will continue to explore stories that delve into the depths of humanity, hidden behind Japanese yokai and urban legends. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe and give us a high rating. Until next time, when the door to another story opens, please watch your step on the night path